we are always looking for volunteers. This is a volunteer-led organization, volunteering either just helping with checking people in, helping be a collaborator or presenter here on the stage with me, or like Daniel in the back, helping with our marketing and recording the presentation. So this is a community we love for everybody is welcome to come get involved. So if you're interested in volunteering, please sign up. So who is here for, let me back up. So my name is Chip Kalousek. I'm one of the leaders here at the Birmingham Finance meeting. Who's here for their very first time to a Birmingham AI event? Wow, okay. There's a lot of people here. Their first time. And then who's here for the Innovation Depot for their very first time? Wow, excellent. So let's give the Innovation Depot a round of applause. They've been a great partner of ours. This is where a lot of Alabama's premier startups start, is right here in this space. Here at Birmingham AI, our mission is to accelerate the adoption of artificial intelligence in Birmingham for all. And so a common phrase that we have here is we want AI to happen for you, not to you. And this is, again, a collaborative space where we just want to share with you kind of what is happening in the AI landscape and help prepare you for the future that is going to very much involve AI. So that's what we're here for. Some have described this room as the most ambitious room in Birmingham. I don't know if any of you relate to that. I certainly relate to that. So if you're an ambitious person and you're interested in AI, and you're specifically interested in AI finance, you're in the right place. Here at the finance meeting, our objective is to create an inspiring community of AI-first professionals. So what does that mean? Today, our sponsor is going to give us a little bit of color or insight to what that looks like. But then additionally, our presenter, Hyde with EDPA, is also going to give us some color on how they are acting as an AI-first professional. So we're here, we want to help you guide and define what an AI-first professional is, and we're excited to have you here to be part of it. So with that said, none of this would be possible without our sponsors, so I want to go ahead and introduce Warren Averett to come up here, Brittany and Riley to share a little bit more about Warren Averett. So.
Hi everyone. Oops, is this on? Hold. Hello. 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 Okay, hi there. Hi everyone. I'm Brittany Robertson with Warren Averett. I am our basically internal AI go-to person, and we have been working on AI for a couple of years now. So it just keeps going off. Hey, is that better? Hey. Can we just yell? Nope. It's back, and we're back. Okay. And specifically, I have been coming to Birmingham AI meetups for almost 2 years, and was very excited to have this finance breakout because, you know, in our industry, there are a lot of things that we have to concentrate on: security, compliance, very sensitive data that very much applies when we're working with AI. And so we have been Copilot users. Our entire firm is licensed for Copilot for a little over a year, and we've seen some great adoption with that. Are starting to build out some agents. And even this last Birmingham AI Finance meetup, when I think Chip was talking about agents with Excel, you know, we started talking about, hey, we need to be using that. And as an update for anyone that was here, if you use Copilot, there is one, an AI Excel agent, and it was in Frontier, which is kind of pre-release, and they have announced that it will be in part of major release in the next 2 months. So anyway, Riley here has been someone that's been a great champion for us, and he's going to talk about what he's doing.
Yep, all right, this works. So like we said, my name is Riley Jones. I'm the supervisor at Warren Averett in our risk advisory and insurance services group. And so our group really tries to help organizations minimize risk and build resilience. And we kind of do that through 3 key service lines. Call them 3 buckets. So the first bucket is internal controls and compliance. And that group performs a lot of outsourced internal audit engagements, as well as a lot of business process reviews for just a wide range of industries. The second bucket is the SOC reporting group. That's the group that I work with. We perform all of our firm's SOC engagements. And the third group is the IT consulting group, and they do a lot of IT control reviews, IT risk assessments, and those kind of engagements. So how does this tie into AI? You know, a lot of our clients haven't implemented AI in a material way, at least as it relates to the processes that we see. But they are certainly starting to ask a lot of the right questions. You know, a lot of organizations want to understand how AI is going to impact their risks, their controls, and their readiness for the future. So our role in that is to really, you know, be a part of those early discussions. You know, we really want to help our clients approach AI in a responsible and well-governed way. So yes, I mean, I think it's a really exciting time to be in this space, and we are super proud to work with organizations like Birmingham AI, you know, that really foster these conversations. So thank you.
Thanks, Sean. We will just finish going through here. If you want to read this later, you can. Nobody wants to read all that.
Thank you, Brittany and Riley. Let's give a hand for working. I'm sorry to share, we have some bad news. No meetings in December. So we're taking the month of December off. Our leadership group is going to kind of reconvene and kind of think strategically about next year. So that's not just for the Birmingham Finance meeting, but then also additionally the general meetup. But in good news, we do have a new digital space. This is a request we've been receiving for probably about a year. A lot of people, you come to this meeting, you network, you exchange great ideas, but you want to continue the conversation once you leave the room. So this is our new space. It includes, it's going to be your central resource hub for all things about the breakouts. We'll be posting the slides from the presentation on this resource page. We will be sharing upcoming events, other calendar announcements on our space, as well as the ability to connect with others and network across meetups and breakouts. So other pieces of information you might find, just curiosity and learnings. Today, or the other day, Jake shared about fake songs that he made with AI. I don't know if anyone has been following the headlines. There's a rising country star that is 100% AI, Breaking Rust, I believe is the name. So we were commenting and discussing that in this chat. Daniel, who, again, another round of applause for Daniel in the back, thank you, is posing a question about ChatGPT, which, by the way, there's another new ChatGPT model, ChatGPT 5.1 was just released yesterday. We're not going to cover that today, but we were having a discussion on that. And then free Perplexity Pro for a year, which I'll share some more details on. That is one of the kind of leading, I would say, AI finance tools in terms of research and stock research. Perplexity is a great tool. So we'll show you how you can get Perplexity Pro for a year. And then additionally, there are new breakout groups and meetings being launched. So they're going to be launching a sales breakout group. If you are somebody who is in sales or very sales focused and are interested in helping contribute to that group, connect with William after the meeting. That's a new meeting breakout that they're going to be launching. And then most importantly, you can earn points, level up, and join the leaderboard. And yours truly is at the top of the leaderboard this past week. So it's very rarely that I'm number one, so I have to.
Who's number 2 and 3? Both marketers, just saying.
Yeah, and then the marketing group, we have a little rivalry going on in the space at the moment. They're closely behind 2 and 3. If I was being honest, if you look at it at an all-time perspective, I'm actually second or third. But quick update on spreadsheet benchmarking. So last month we covered Shortcut AI is kind of the top performer in Excel agents. So a couple updates from Shortcut AI this month. One, just as a reminder what Shortcut AI is. It is a AI native Excel spreadsheet built in your browser. You can either start with kind of an example exploratory set of data there on the left. You can generate a spreadsheet automatically using a prompt through Spreadsheet AI, or you can import your own spreadsheets that you already have and use the AI agent on existing spreadsheets. Additionally, you're able to export any spreadsheets out of there to your traditional Excel environment. So this is what Shortcut AI looks like when you log in. Again, it's a very, if you're familiar with Excel, this looks very, very similar, as the exact same functionality, except there, as you can see on the left-hand side, is the Excel agent. And the other update here today is now they have an Excel add-in, so you can use this agent directly inside of Excel. Or if you're a Google Sheets user, they also have a Google Sheets add-in as well. So this is now a tool that has been, I guess, democratized or implemented across now all your spreadsheet capabilities. And at the moment, as of last month, this was the strongest performing Excel agent. And for an update on pricing, you can use this agent for free. At the current moment, you can get 3 free prompts a day. And then if you want to pay $15 a month, you actually get 20 prompts per month. Or for $25, you get 500 credits or 50 prompts per month. So it is now, I think, very accessible from a price perspective. That initially, this when we first started talking about this product, I think it was like $50 a month or $400 a month. There was like no really in between. So if you just want to experiment for a month, try it out, see what it's capable of. These pricing updates, I think, make it a lot more accessible. But there's a new Excel agent in our benchmarking. I just found this yesterday, and it's called BlueBox, and it is actually outperforming Shortcut AI. It looks like it's, I didn't dig too deep, it looks like it's a European company because some of the data on their webpage was using not the dollar, but euros. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I encourage you to go maybe sign up for their beta and try that out, test it out. So if you go to BlueBox or blue-box.co, you can sign up and enter your email there and try that Excel agent out. That's still in beta, but interesting to see, again, a new player into the space in Excel AI agents. Claude is also now has an add-in for Excel. It is also in beta, so if you want to join the waitlist on that, you can test that tool out as well. So as you can see, I'm kind of building this, there's a real battle going on between Excel agents. Everybody's trying to get into this space, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of improvements in this area here in the coming months.
You've been using it since last time we talked. Anybody? Like, use Shortcut or any of these Excel agents?
Yeah, who's using an Excel AI agent today? I see Michael in the back. Yeah. Anybody want to share how they're using it? I guess there's only 2 of you. I'll turn back over here.
Yeah, I use one, it's actually from Excel Labs, and it works on top of Copilot.
Yep.
Web app, and I basically used it. I had some Excel data that was in a table, portfolio loans, and it created just from that table, an interactive dashboard, all using Excel functions, and where I could basically slice and dice that loan portfolio. It took it probably about 10-15 minutes to build a whole thing.
Very, very cool. Yeah, so we did highlight that last month. If you weren't here last month, we did kind of show if you want to use Excel's agent, how to get to that. You actually have to use Excel in the web browser. It's not yet available in the desktop version. And if you have a Microsoft 365 subscription, you can use their agent. And just here benchmarking, you can see it's almost, I've used it, it's almost as good as Shortcut AI, so it's a very good solution as well.
Hey, Chip, did the human performance benchmark change at all between October 2025 and prior, before the BlueBox, or was it always set?
You know, I think human performance is static in this case.
If you go back to the prior one, was it just 71 or was it?
Yeah, I think it stayed at 71. If it didn't, then that would have been a typo, because I literally updated one piece of information on that. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good call out, though. The static human performance is going to stay static. I think their performance it'd be interesting to see what's human-like performance when you're using these kind of tools. So that's something that we're also going to touch about on is having human in the loop of when you're using AI. None of these tools, I don't think, are at a point now where you can just completely turn over all control. So that's really encouraging for all of us in the room, but it will definitely come to a place of human performance here is an Excel genius, so somebody who is extremely skilled at Excel. But if you're an average Excel user and you start using these tools, you can be an Excel genius as well, and maybe even outperform typical human performance there. So augmenting with AI is a theme that we like to talk a lot about. AI is not here to replace you; it's a tool, and we encourage everyone to embrace it. So Perplexity Pro, as I shared, that if you sign up through PayPal, you can get 12 months free of Perplexity. So this is a great deal. Just to verify that this is how it really works, you just go to, if you type in Perplexity PayPal, you'll come to this page, you sign up and sign up through PayPal, and you can see there the next charge date is not until next October. So at a minimum, if you're in the finance field, highly encourage you to go check out that tool and use the pro features for free while it's free. And if a year from now you decide it's not worth it, you can always cancel. So that is very, very cool. And of course, Google Finance also now has AI built into it. So this is, I just played around with this a little bit yesterday. It looks similar to Perplexity. There's differences, obviously, but they've got a whole AI summary of what's happened in the market. You can get summaries on stock specifics. If you want to know what happened to Apple stock today, you can ask there in the chat, or hey, what happened to Apple stock? And it's going to give you a very detailed explanation of why Apple stock went up or down. I never encourage individual stock picking, but if that's your style of investing, this is a great tool to just keep up with the markets and learn more about different trends in the market. And how many accountants are in the room? Handful, couple. So I'm sure some of you, many of you are probably familiar with the Intuit product suite. They just launched their new AI. It's called AIinFinance. Wasn't able to find a ton of information about it, but basically they're incorporating AI agents into all of their products. And on the announcement, this is what their CEO had to say.
Well, let me introduce you to Intuit Intelligence. We've always been asked, why can't you put the power of intelligence in my hands and in the hands of my customers? Why can't it feel like I can have a team to have a debate with? Why can't you create something where we can go back and forth? I can actually give you maybe data you don't have. I feel like it's secure, I feel like it's safe, and I feel like your answers are accurate. Intuit Intelligence will democratize intelligence accurately, securely, all in one place, and a platform where you feel like you are having a debate and a discussion with an army of folks that can help you grow your practice and help businesses grow their business.
Yeah, so that's cool, right? I don't know if you guys can hear that very well. I think this speaks a little bit too about the AI hype right now. Every company is going all in on AI. As you can see here, as he's describing their AI capabilities, we're democratizing intelligence. What does that mean? Anybody know what democratizing intelligence means? I don't know. It sounds really smart, though. It sounds really good. And so I just thought that was kind of a funny clip as I was researching this, that we're now democratizing intelligence with AI, which is something I feel like we've been doing for all of history. But with that, I want to introduce somebody who's going to help us democratize intelligence here in the room, Andrew Becker. He is going to be joining us on the stage as one of our leaders here at the Finance Breakout, where my strengths are, I'll just say, not on the technical side. Andrew's strength is on the technical side. So I think Andrew has a really cool role kind of at the center of AI in finance, and his role, as we just came up with this title for him, as a AI finance product manager and technical practitioner, which is just to say he is helping implement real AI products inside of a major Fortune 500 company today, and would love for him to share a little bit more about his role and kind of what he's got on his radar at the moment. So turn it over to Andrew. Let's give him a warm hand of applause.
Probably like turn on the mic, right? Yeah, like I said, Chip, thank you for the introduction. My name is Andrew Becker. I work on data and AI product management in the financial services industry. So I've been across a little bit in our industry, across L&A, property and casualty, banking, a little bit on the wealth side, and a little bit on compliance and legal. So have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas across our industry and different takes about things and how things should happen, or what are those best practices and such. So what I really wanted to do when we talked about this was really look out in those headlines of what's going on in our industry and how does that affect us. A few years ago, or the last probably a year and a half, I've seen a lot of these headlines. People get fired for AI. We are an AI company. We're firing everybody. Layoffs because of
And Klarna, who does those buy now, pay later type of services, they are a company that they went all in. They said, all right, from a customer service standpoint, you as a customer are going to talk to AI constantly. And what they're now finding out is people don't like talking about their money with AI. I mean, and you know, rightfully so. I don't want to ask an AI and say, how are my stocks performing? How much money is in my available account? You know, one of my previous employers, we always said, what do sales look like for our financials? You get 3 different answers for that from 3 different groups. And so what I really want to go back to that was, look at the headlines and then kind of track and see what happens going on. Because what we're also seeing in there, Klarna's had to kind of call back and say, you know what? I don't think the AI customer service is really great for us. And what you're seeing too, you know, Klarna's it's not just a case of, hey, they went all in. Of course, there's always other factors in there, such as credit analysis and credit scores and such that are going to these products. But they're having to back out because people don't want to talk to an AI about money. And so going back to it, you know, what just recently announced in that area was Lloyds banking out in London said, okay, we're not going to let you talk to AI. We're just going to give you a tool that you can work with, and then what we can do is, you know, identify those opportunities that we can help service you. So this goes back to this whole human in the loop. That human in there, you know, AI is not going to cause this massive sweep off of all these roles. It's going to be, hey, we're going to take care of this 20% activities that you don't like to do, but we're going to give you the tools to say, like, make you become a better person of how you reach out to clients, you know, doing those certain activities that clients find valuable. I can't imagine anybody's going to write a birthday card with AI. I know there's someone that probably has, but you know, that personal touch with the customers in our industry, let it be clients, let it be, you know, whoever's investing our money. That's the key thing to take away from here. As you use a human in the loop, don't look at it as I'm being taken out of the equation. It's more of I'm part of the equation, and now AI is an additional enabler in there that I can use to then make a better customer experience. I can, you know, work with them. I can do about analysis. You know, Chip was showing me something that, hey, this is a great tool that we're using to help out, that I can help out clients. So a lot of headlines, guys. I've seen a lot of these on there. Hey, AI's coming for you. Chase had one a few weeks ago about, you know, get rid of junior bankers. But again, the 20% of the tasks that you've delegated out to AI, great, just do it. That remaining 80%, use that to make your life, what you do exceptional, and it can really impact your clients, your business partners, and your peers and such in there. So I'm going to turn this over to Lauren Hyde and Jacob Lamb. I believe they're next. And they're going to show one of those examples where, hey, they have a problem, they've used AI to kind of solve for that problem, and now they're going ahead out there and creating that human in the loop and kind of, I guess you could say, hitting way above y'all's big class at this point, right?
Oh, thanks. I think so.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn it over to them, all right?
Thanks.
Thank you, Andrew.
I represent the Economic Development Partnership of Alabama, which is a nonprofit focused on economic development across the state. So our sole job is to recruit business to Alabama, work with statewide partners, and we help companies navigate the complexity of public-private partnership. So why am I talking to you all at the finance breakout session and not the nonprofit breakout session? Because I sit within our research think tank. We call that the Alabama Business Intelligence Center, AIinFinance, and it's all mirrored off of fundamental research tools and things that you all look at every day in finance. In fact, I started my career at Regions, and I've always been an investment analyst by background. So everything that we do is modeled off of that. So I really think that what the research that we're doing and how we've taken that research process and brought AI into the loop is highly relevant. Every single person in this room does an aspect of business development. Every single person in this room does some sort of analytical or research work. So even if you don't do all of the things that we do, I think that there's hopefully enough that you can learn from on our sort of AI journey and roadmap. And then I'll turn it over for the really fun portion where our Director of Research, Dr. Jacob Lamb, will walk us through the demo of one of our tools in real time, just so you can see what that looks like. So for AIintel, imagine taking all of your earnings call transcripts, all of your disparate Excel sheets that you've used to get ready for conferences and trade shows, all of your disparate pieces of intelligence work, and stitching it all together into one place that you can access. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to, I'm going to coin this now, democratize that intelligence, right? To get it out into the hands of Alabamians, specifically economic development organizations, but we've also worked with other private sector partners, law firms, etc. So how do you create insights quickly in an age where AI can empower what we do? So that's what we're building. Just a little bit about AIintel specifically. So we're housed within EDPA. Think of this like a think tank. Our whole mission is to drive investment in Alabama. We're looking for opportunities and risks. We're trying to mitigate those and lean in and act on the opportunities and really generate business leads. At the end of the day is probably the most relatable way to your business that you can think about that. Everything we do is in this research flywheel. So we won't go into all of the different research strategies that we have and research tools that we have, but just think about our research as industry, company, executive, and Alabama's value proposition. And if we all do all of those things in a flywheel approach, obviously you get better and better at that, at deriving insights. Through AI in the mix, like we'll talk about today, that becomes even more efficient and faster, and that drives investment in Alabama. So why did we turn to AI? We started the Business Intelligence Center just 3 years ago. So we're a very young organization. We're sort of unique. There's no really other think tank doing this sort of work in Alabama. And so we just did it the old-fashioned way. Jacob came on sort of 6 months in, and we decided we're just going to go at it doing our manual research. We're going to be targeted. We're going to be focused. And it was great. It was starting to get results. But how do you scale that? Well, we hired Olivia, so thank you, Olivia, for taking a chance on us. And if you have questions, I wanted you to make sure you know the team, because they're really the ones behind the hard work of getting this stood up. But that's not scalable, right? You all work in organizations where there's always greater need than hours in the day, and overhead has to cap. So as a team leader, you're just like, I can't continue to hire an infinite number of analysts. Thankfully for us, the advent of AI and just how fast that came to fruition and how fast that has changed really helped us unlock more capacity. So we went from manually reviewing earnings call transcripts, manually synthesizing data and information, doing research, quote unquote, the way we'd always done it, the hard way, to now we are collaborating with AI. I talk a lot with our team about how is our pie chart of time divided. Are we doing things that are very rote, that are very manual, that we can automate in some way with AI? Because that frees up our human capacity to act and be more insightful. So that's why we prioritized it. What does that look like in practice? In terms of timeline, we really started in the summer of 2024. So I'd let you know that to say, we're not ahead or behind, and you are not ahead or behind, because we've made a good bit of progress in really a year. We've tinkered with it, been meaningfully making a commitment to take our research process and start developing tools that we could use as a team to make ourselves better, to make our research better, and to expand our capacity. Started in the summer of 2024. And so the dark blue are the bots. There's nothing autonomous about what we do yet. So we call them ChatGPT bots. We're OpenAI native, but all of this can be copy and paste prompting into other AI agents or other LLMs. And so we started with the earnings call bot. We have the light blue that are in beta testing now, and then everything else in gray is how we're thinking about, again, systematically going through our entire process. We take sort of a 1 to 2 quarter cadence to build things out, 1 to 2 quarters to test, and of course there's tinkering that happens in between. So the earnings call bot started in the summer of 2024. The way we thought about that framework was it was a high impact strategy for us, and I won't get into all the details why unless we have time after or have Q&A. But just short version, it was highlighting opportunities and risk through an Alabama lens for public companies doing business in Alabama. And so we were able to capture information and get that out to folks who can act on it to retain business or expand business. There are other, AI implementations for earnings call transcripts. So nothing about this is wholly new. Our research process included information around Alabama, so we could have Alabama-specific insights. So it was highly impactful. And then in terms of just data readiness, earnings call transcripts are easily pulled from things like FactSet, Bloomberg, S&P CapIQ, like what we use. Easy to scrape those things in, easy to structure. We had a structured research process, and we had a template. So it's really easy for us to take all of those ingredients and start building it out in ChatGPT, in our case. Company due diligence was just an iteration of that. We're doing deep research on companies, both for the state and for individuals, including our own organization. You all can relate to this. Anytime you're doing underwriting on a client or a potential client, you want to, the more intelligence you can bring to the front, the more that gives you a strategic advantage going into that relationship. So we went there next, and then of course, anyone who's attended a conference with 1,000 attendees trying to figure out who to prioritize. That was the next step. How do we take and build upon these building blocks and then make that a faster process to clean those lists of information? So we took the framework of what is going to be most impactful? What can we, get AI going on first? Where are we ready in terms of our research process? Where is our data organized? And we started there. So that's a framework that I think you all could use as well when you're thinking about starting your own AI development roadmap. So with that, I'm going to turn it over for the fun part to Jacob to talk through how this has really impacted our team and then do the live demo.
Testing. Is that working?
Yes.
Good, perfect. Okay, so as Lauren said, I'm Jacob Lamb. I'm the Director of Research at Intel. And Lauren gave a really good setup of kind of why we started using AI and why we started building these custom bots for our workflows. But I kind of wanted to lead with, before I show you a demo of what we built and how easy they really are to build, the so what. What do you actually get out of it? How do you quantify it? I'm a numbers guy. So what we did beforehand is we looked at our workflows and said, how long do these actually take us to complete manually? They were structured, there was a process for each of them, and depending on the complexity of the workflow, it would take us anywhere from 10 to 20 hours, for example, to produce a corporate due diligence report, or an hour per company on an earnings call summary. So we had some numbers going in, and then we started quantifying how long it takes when we're done with this bot assisting us. The time savings are about 10x so far. So we would go from taking 20 hours to do a due diligence report. It was especially complex and had a lot of things we needed to look up, down to about 2 hours. Earnings calls, I ran through about 30 companies the other day, an hour and 37 minutes with the bot. Previously, that would have taken us 30 hours, almost someone's entire work week. So this is why we do it. It was heavily manual before, and now we are just automating the data collection piece, I don't want to call it grunt work, but the boring part of the job to get to the so what, the interesting part at the end, where you read the due diligence report and say, okay, what about these companies' finances? Let's look into them a little deeper. It saves the analytical and reasoning part for us and cuts out the wasted time at the beginning. So, to show you what one of these looks like, I'm going to show you the due diligence bot that we've built. By we, I mean Olivia Melton on our team and our Quant Hub data scholar this past summer, Monisha from Averett School of Fine Arts. They put this bot together over the summer. They automated this structured process we had before, and I'm going to quickly rebuild it for you here today just to show you how quickly this can be done. So, and I'm going to do this in ChatGPT. This can be done in other AIs depending on what you use. Typically, it is in the paid version of most AI services. You're not going to have the ability to make these custom on the free plan. But if you do use OpenAI, you go over to ChatGPT, mine's a bit of a mess here, to create one of these, I've got a lot of stuff going on.
But if you click explore and click create, this is how you create a custom bot. You're given this blank prompt, and you have all bits of information here to configure it. You can name your bot. So we'll say due diligence demo. You give it a description, which we'll skip for now. And then here's where the real meat occurs, the instructions. So what I'll show you is I'll pull it up here, presentation demo files. I'll give you our bot instructions. We can talk through these in a little greater detail because I'm sure they'll prompt questions. These are dependent upon your research process. This is where you're giving the bot the context it needs to understand what you're trying to accomplish. You can, before I copy and paste them, you can see some of these. We give it an identity and its goal, tell it, okay, who are you and what are you trying to do? The navigation rules, in other words, how do we want you to go about this process? What is the ordering here? The full version of this bot we've set up to primarily use our paid data sources, S&P Capital IQ and CB Insights, because we get really quality information from there, and then it defaults to web searching. So we make sure it knows that that's the order of operations it's supposed to go through. Flow and personality, we try to make sure it doesn't embellish claims or do anything beyond the scope. And then user guidance, we want a strict template for our output. We want it to match what we did when we were doing these manually so that we can have consistent output throughout reports. So these, we can go in greater detail if we need to, but I'm going to copy and paste this in and just show you all how.
So,
yes.
Yes. Just to take a step back, can you talk through a little bit, and I think Laura was talking about this, like talk through what went into creating these instructions, like prior to even getting the words on the page, and then one of my specific questions is, did you use AI to write these instructions?
Yes. So we use AI to help write the instructions, but Olivia can speak to this pretty well too, is we had to sit down and think about our process to start with. Because you get so used to doing something and not really analyzing why you're doing it. We had to sit back and say, what is every step that I'm doing in this research process? And I have to explain it to this AI so that it can replicate exactly what I'm doing. And our goal was to look for risks and opportunities in companies that are looking at the state of Alabama and provide those insights to our clients that want it. We wanted to look at their financials, their locations, expansion plans. We wanted to synthesize that information, and we put it into the structure that we went through typically. So this is the order. The order you see at the bottom here is the same order that Olivia would do her reports in previously.
And then talk a little bit more about how you used AI to write the prompt. Like, what did that look like? Was that like just your notes from the meeting that you guys recorded?
So we would feed it old reports, like samples of what we've done previously, and show it like this is what we want the outcome to look like. This is, and give it context of like here's how we researched, here's where I would get this bit of information from. Like it's, if you're looking at funding and deals, you probably want to use the CB Insights information. We would tell it that, like prioritize certain data sources for certain parts of the report because you get better information from different places. So yeah, we trained it on what we created manually and then gave it context.
And that was before the instructions that we're seeing here?
Yeah. So we had ChatGPT help write its own instructions, which was cool. And then there was a lot of tinkering. Yes?
Maybe I'm jumping ahead, but S&P Capital IQ, I assume it's a subscription service that
Yes.
you pay for. Does ChatGPT have to log in, or do you just have to have it open on your computer, or you downloading information to a file and telling it to go there?
So that's a phenomenal question. So when we first started, we would download templated reports from S&P Cap IQ and from CB Insights and upload those as PDFs for the bot to read. We realized that we could even automate that portion of the workflow, and so now we are building in APIs from our data sources to automatically pipe in the data so the user never has to leave the AI platform to create the report. So that's a great question. Yeah, we're
APIs are not free.
No, they're not.
So we have to be thoughtful about that process and how much data we're calling. But yes, for us, it's important enough information to our process. And we have good company database and research vendors who are willing to work on that with us.
Yeah. So there's varying levels of automation there. But yes, we do bring in that information from outside. Because, yes?
Are those API calls being made natively in chat, or are you having to go out to Postman?
Yeah, we have to go out to Postman, generate a key, and then chat can communicate. Because one of our data sources has a chat bot on the other end, so it's literally speaking bot to bot. So our bot is speaking to CD Insight's chat bot that then goes and finds the information and pipes it back to us. Yeah.
What checks do you have to prevent hallucination?
To prevent hallucination,
Yeah.
the human review at the end is key, because we go through and fact check all of this, which is way quicker. It's way quicker than aggregating it all in the beginning. We can see, and that's one of the things you get when you've done 100 of these reports, is you can see things that don't pass the smell test really, really quickly. So we go back in and check it, and what we did at the beginning, though, to prevent it, because I know human beings are going to make a lot of mistakes too, is we gave it reports that we knew were quality, and then we would give it reports, or ask it to generate reports it hadn't seen yet, and compared it to what we produced manually, and said, where did it hallucinate versus a human being not hallucinating? And kind of fine-tuned it to where it's not going to just start making stuff up. And that is in the data sources too. It's telling it you have to anchor yourself in these. Like if it's not in this, don't just go trust any website. We gave it verified sourcing to at certain points of like trust Reuters, trust this site. Like we gave it a whitelist essentially. Yeah.
Is that whitelist explicit in these instructions? Can you show us?
Do we have it in this version of the instructions? We did.
Can you repeat the questions?
Oh yeah. So the question was, is the whitelist explicit in the instructions? And Olivia, where would that be? Do we have it up at the top?
It should be. Oh, wait, you missed it.
I missed it.
There you go. Trusted.
Trusted news outlets. Yeah. We didn't specify URLs, but we haven't had an issue with it like not finding these sites. So yeah, we explicitly called it out in there. Cool. Always feel free to interrupt with questions. It's my other job as a professor, so I like questions. So I input those instructions here. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Have you ever used the ChatGPT prompt optimizer or stuff like that? Or if you have a certain prompt, you can optimize it?
Prompt optimizer? I have not used prompt optimizer now. Have you? No, Olivia hasn't. Okay. We'll look into that. Thank you for calling that. That's really good. But with just these basic instructions, the other bits of information that we gave it, you can scroll down here. You can upload files, upload knowledge documents. This is where the real X factor comes into play with this bots, because there's a bunch of information that we would refer back to constantly when assessing companies. We have a state strategic plan, so we have to know how this company fits in with the state strategy. So we give it the state strategic plan. And we give it several other documents, which I'll show you right here in documents. Oh no. I have so many files, y'all. So Alabama Value Proposition Knowledge Document, we explicitly spell out the value proposition of Alabama to the bot. It has constant access to this, so it knows our lens that we're researching through. For your individual company, it could be your company's value proposition, what you do, so that it doesn't start making suggestions that are not necessarily relevant to your context when you look at the report. We have our state strategic plan in here, and we also have a risk and opportunity knowledge framework document. So if I upload those, take a second, these will be saved to its corpus, and it'll have these in the bot to access when it needs to. When you asked about APIs earlier, if you want to add in an API, it's done under here under create new action. You can input your schema into here and call the API that way. It'll be an action within the bot. So you can specify, hey, please connect to my S&P Capital IQ API or my CD Insights API. Yep.
Is chat charging you per amount of data that comes through the API, or were you referencing just cost of creating the API?
So ChatGPT itself is not charging us for it. It is the end data source that's charging us. It's the API on the other end. Yeah. So ChatGPT itself doesn't charge us.
So your source is saying you're pulling this much data, it's costing you this much.
Yeah, you have X number of tokens or calls per month, and if you spend those, it costs us a month. Yeah. So this would be the kind of thing where if you do build an API like this, you don't necessarily want it to be public facing and have people run through all your tokens. So this is something back end for us. Yeah. Could be a serious worry if we launched this as public facing and somebody ran 100 reports. So
is that a setting? Can you clarify that if it being it public versus private?
oh yeah, like I'll do that when we click create. You can verify that you just want to keep it internal, or you can share it with the link to others if you'd like to. So this is a very simple version of this. There's other knowledge documents, like we've given it before, example reports. You can add as much context really as you'd like, but I wanted to build a simple example just to show you how quickly this can work. It's here I have the option to share with people from my workspace. I can give access to invite only, people in my organization, or I can just go put it out into the public domain.
Is that GPT store, is that, can you monetize it that way?
That's a good question. I don't know if you can. You probably.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I've not looked at the GPT store, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it is available.
So monetization. Very cool. So if we update this and it loads, I can view the GPT. So this is what the user will see, due diligence demo. And I will say, produce, is it covering up? Let's hide that. Produce a report on nice company that does business in Alabama, 3M company. Now notice, I haven't given it any documentation from the outside, I haven't built in the API, so here it's going to have to just default to trusted sources, because it doesn't have access to our private information. And here's the moment of truth. Let's see if 5.1 can handle this. 5.1 or 5.0 did the other day. That's not what I asked for. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this is a new thing with 5.0 and 5.1, and it started pulling stock information at the top of the report. That's new. It didn't used to do that under 4.0. But the actual report itself is presented down here in the exact order we asked for. It provides an executive summary on the company itself. Gives you all sorts of information here. It's pulled up information from the company website too. That's a source I'm fine with. Generally speaking, we're fine with company websites. It fits into our value proposition. We're missing some of our documentation, so we haven't actually told the GPT that 3M does have locations here. In our earnings call bot, for example, we tell it that there's 2 locations in Alabama, what they make. We give it that context, so it can be a good analyst when it looks at the company. Here I haven't fed it that info, so it might miss some of that. So it tries to position Alabama in context, gives a nice overview of the company, gives business divisions and products. I mean, it's really thorough, and just thinking about how much time this would take Googling all of it, copying, pasting it, sourcing it. It's told to provide sources underneath everything. I don't like that there's Wikipedia down there, we gotta cut that out. There's always edits to make. Corporate structure and subsidiaries, expansion plans. This is designed to catch any public mention of trying to build new plants. I mean, some of this is just inside baseball, what we do, but operational footprint. Obviously, this information gets far greater in its quality when you get it private info, when you get it paid info. So this is just from a web screen. And it's built out, gives you opportunities and risks for the company, conclusion, recommendation, and very often it'll give you due diligence questions. Here, lately, another thing I gotta edit on this, I like showing it live, is it'll ask questions that it wants to answer itself. It says, would you like me to dive deeper? No. I want to ask these questions to the company. So we'll specify that when we go back through and provide your sources at the bottom. The full version.
What do you do with this once you're done? So do you go then copy and paste in a different format? What's the final product?
So from here, we'll then go copy and paste into Word, and then like the fact checking and reviewing begins. So we go through, we check and make sure, okay, is everything accurate? And then what are the interesting follow-ups that like an AI might not think too deeply about and say, oh yeah, they mentioned a $20 million expansion next year. Like, no, that's a big deal. So we go and do that deep dive and look into it. Like, where are they expanding? What division? So we go in and add that extra little bit of detail, the final 20%, once we get it into a Word document and do our editing.
do you pick these things against each other? Because that's what we do. Once you get the report from chat, I take it and I send it to Claude, and I say, yeah, trainee just did this. Can you find any holes in here? Is there any? And then whatever report I get from that guy, I send it to Perplexity. Just to, before we even get a human involved, we get multiple AIs, fighting each other, essentially, finding each other's mistakes.
That's a phenomenal idea. We haven't done that with these bots yet. I did it a couple days ago with an academic paper, and that was really, really beneficial to see, because ChatGPT missed things that Claude caught, and then I just went through the cycle until there was nothing left.
Yes. And I also look for like misstated, overstated, and understated, those three things, because, especially when they're critiquing each other, they're more candid.
Yeah, true, yeah. It's like they've been programmed before. But and that's a quick little demo of what we built it to show you just the final version. The final version is right here. It's a little bit clean. It gives you a little description of what it does, gives you an example prompting here. And if I had my API keys on me, I'd paste that in chat, and it would get going automatically pulling that info for us. So that's a quick demo of how to build one of these, and we just look at work problems and workflows that we have where everything is very manual and not really on the thinking side, more of the grunt work side. And we'll see, can we turn this into a bot to save time?
Question back here.
Yeah.
When you fine tune it, the model, are you doing it like going back and editing the initial prompt, or how do you? What's your process for that?
So the editing is done in the instructions. Olivia, you've done more of the editing than I have, but when I have edited these before, I've asked it, okay, so here's something that sticks out like a sore thumb in the output that I really don't like. I'll go in and say, what part of the instructions caused you to write that? Like, what in your instructions made you write this thing that is just really off, so I can go in exactly and go edit that piece so it doesn't happen again. So just troubleshooting which part of the instructions are causing what output. Yeah.
How much better were the results actually? How much better were the results than if you just done just a standard check? Did you compare?
Repeat the question, please.
How much better would the results be had we just thrown this into ChatGPT before and not done as a customized bot? So that's how we did it before, actually. That's how we did the research process before. So we would use ChatGPT for data collection all the time. And I think part of what's prompted this was even with ChatGPT by itself, there was still a lot of revisions. A lot of going back and like, no, that's not Alabama's value proposition at all. You're focusing too much on this key thing. And it eventually became this idea of we need to codify the tools. So yeah, we've done it before, but when it doesn't have those instructions and foundational knowledge docs, it just doesn't really get to what you're trying to get out of it. It's quickly.
You get a lot of variability in response.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, exactly. Great question. Okay.
So I mean, this is crazy cool, but if you wanted to somehow bring this into a native environment where you have proprietary information, have you all thought about a way you could do that without putting it into ChatGPT where it wouldn't necessarily be private?
Well, in our EDPA workspace, it is allegedly private. Allegedly. I mean, they say it's private, that they don't train on your models or anything like that. And we keep it shared within our workspace.
Okay.
So it should be private.
We're not dealing with like the compliant data or financial data, which helps. So it's given us more leeway than many of your firms have. But I know Andrew and I have chatted about that a little bit. Like, we definitely have to, as we continue to build these things out, weigh, pros and cons. Again, we started with things that were very safe, right? In terms of what our data is. Like, okay, so another state figures out our value proposition, right? Like, so there's really nothing. We have a competitive advantage, but it's not like we're leaking really sensitive customer information. So that's a good question. We thankfully have a lot more flexibility than say an accounting firm.
And it's very often because we work without that private customer information.
Yeah.
We haven't been given private financials or anything.
That's right.
Well, these are all really great questions. Let's give, we're going to cut it short a little bit early here. We got a couple more announcements, but there is food, so we want to give you guys a few minutes to eat as well. But let's give Lauren and Jacob a hand. One of the things I love about the Birmingham AI community is we have a really wide spectrum of AI skill. So I know there's some of you here in the room that maybe using AI for the very first time, and then we have some people in the room who are much more technical and advanced. And the great news is we are growing in terms of meetings. I don't know how many meetings we'll eventually have, but we're launching a sales meeting. But we do also have a AI engineering breakout where they are going into a lot more of those technical questions and answer your question about can you host it locally, I think is what you're asking. There is a way to do local LLMs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to William, our executive director here at Birmingham AI. He's got an exciting announcement for 2026 he wants to share.
Yeah, thanks everyone. There is more Chick-fil-A, so please go grab it if you can get some earlier. We're doing a big January kickoff, so as Chip said, there's no December meeting, holidays, so we'll give you guys a break. But we're doing a 500-person event. It's our first paid event that we've ever done. That's $30, so it's not going to break the bank here. But it's after hours, 4:30 to 8 o'clock. We're going to do hands-on AI experiences. Each of the breakouts will be leading those, where you actually get to see how people are using AI in these different spaces and verticals. And then we have OpenAI who's going to be coming, and we'll be doing a keynote and some general content as well, like we do for our general meetup. So please grab tickets. This is the details for those.
By the way, this is a huge deal to get OpenAI as a sponsor. So.
Yes, and yes.
Round of applause for OpenAI. I'm just impressed that we were able to get somebody that big to come support us.
Yeah, we don't get an OpenAI.
This is an event that I don't know if national press will be there, but I think we're kind of setting the stage that way maybe. So maybe I'm raising the bar.
Well, yeah, you're setting the bar. Hopefully, the autonomous robots and everything will be. But anyway, tickets.
I was going to say we're all surprised right now, but our goal with Birmingham AI is to get to the point where we're no longer surprised. Where it's like, it's weird if you're one of the AI labs who hasn't come to Birmingham. So that's our goal. We're starting with OpenAI. There's going to be more of these. Just wait.
Yes. So yeah, grab your tickets. The first 100, get them at a discount. You guys will probably put us over the threshold. I think there was maybe like 15 left. So hopefully you're one of the luckies that got the discount. And then the last thing is if you wouldn't mind giving us feedback, it's a 2-question survey. It's just a number and then some feedback. We appreciate you hanging in here, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the content. Thank you, Chip, Andrew, Lauren, Jacob, the whole Warren Averett team. Thank you all for being here and bearing with us as we had a catering hiccup today. So appreciate y'all, and let us know what you would like to see more of and what we can do to improve, and call anything out that is relevant so that we can get better as we move into 2026.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody. Again, appreciate your guys' patience with the food. So we'll see you in January.